Hi, it's Andy, and today I'm bringing you what feels like quite a lackluster January TBR. I'm not sure how my hair is coming up on the camera, but I was at the hairdresser's yesterday and she curled my hair, and this is it all sort of falling out of the curl because my hair does not like to keep a curl. And yeah, I always think it looks funny when they put like hairspray and stuff like that in it, so yeah, please ignore the hair if it looks bad. I don't know. In January, I don't really have anything on, really. I have no readathons that I'm taking part in, and at this point in December, I'm just feeling kind of like, ugh. Like I don't really feel up to reading much. I just want to reread stuff. I don't know why. So I don't know what my reading's going to be like. My TBR this month's totally mugged off. It's just gone. And I've been reading, just mood reading whatever I want. But nothing's really calling out to me, so I've been rereading old favourites. So, yeah, we shall see. But there are some things that are kind of calling out to me to read, and like things I'm more in the mood for. So this is going to be a TBR of things that I'm kind of in the mood for, not right now, but soon. So it will consist of my January TBR. Also, given that it's my January TBR, it is time for my first pull of my 12 friends, 12 books, 12 prompts. In here I have all 12 of the prompts, not the prompts, 12 names of my friends who have chosen books for me and a prompt for me to fulfill. Now I've pulled a TBR and I don't know whose name I've pulled yet. I will do that on camera with you and then go and get the book and try and fulfill the prompt. But I think what I'll do this first, and that way if one of my books falls into that prompt, excellent. If not, I can find another book. But yeah, I'm excited to get this started. There are a couple of books that I want to get. So there are a couple of books that I want to read. So this is what it looks like. It's just folded bits of paper with people's names on them. So what I'll do is I will I'm hoping, I think, to get Gem. Maybe not Gem yet. Maybe Gem in February. Bobby or Vicky. Those are the books that I'm kind of like, that I want to read. I'll have an Instagram thing that sorry, my hand went missing there. I have an Instagram story thing that shows all the different books. So this is the one we're going for. This is the one we're going for. I will try and open it so you see it first. So, who do we have? Pia. We have Pia. Let's go see what Pia has for us to read. So Pia's book is Scythe by Neil Shusterman. This is one that I got from Vicky, as you can tell by the pink tab, because we went through Vicky's books like she was dying and we were putting claims on her stuff, and put colour tabs in it. So I got this from Vicky, and I have not read Scythe, but I am getting more into the sort of more sci-fi fantasy-esque area, so it might be time. It might be time. So this is what Pia has chosen for me to read for this challenge. So this will be going on my January TBR. And I am actually quite excited about it. So this is basically about a utopian society where death doesn't happen. People don't die. They've cured cancer. They've cured natural death. They've cured death, basically. And so there are these people called scythes because humans in the earth can't survive if nobody dies. Like, we would run out of space so quickly. And so the scythes are tasked with gleaning humans or people in this world to keep the population down. And I don't think there's not meant to be like any reason why you would be chosen. It's just like a random thing. I don't really know. But this is about two scythes, why can't I say that? Two scythes in training. So they are training to be professional scythes and they get pitted up against each other. I think. We shall see. And Piers' prompt goes nicely with one of the books I've chosen for my TBR, and the style also goes quite nicely. It's two books that I interchange in my brain quite often, which is, you're going to scream at me when you see this. But Piers' prompt is to read a book with red on the cover, or with a red cover. So for that, and I hope she'll let me, I think this one counts. I hope she won't disagree with me and I won't have to change anything. But for that, I'm going to read Red Rising by Piers Brown. This is a shiny book. Red Rising by Piers Brown. This is a book that has been kind of on my radar for ages. I used to watch a booktuber who, I don't think she really does booktube now, I don't follow her anymore. But she was actually friends with Piers. And she loved Red Rising, and I've seen so many people love Red Rising. And it's something that I've not really been that interested in, but now that I'm getting more into sci-fi, I'm leaning towards reading it. And this is about Darrow, who is a red. So in this world there are reds and there are golds. I don't know if there's other colours, but the golds are at the top and the reds are at the bottom. And the Darrow's people, these reds, are being kept underground on Mars, mining for this resource that will help them terraform the planet. But what they don't know is the world has been terraformed for centuries, I believe, and so there is an uprising, like Red Rising, obviously, like some kind of uprising, dystopia, like good old 2000s dystopian pushback. It kind of, I mean, it says here Ender, Katniss, and now Darrow. So Ender from Ender's Game, Katniss from Hunger Games, and Darrow from this. This gives me like Luna people from the Lunar Chronicles, like that work under the ground in the moon. But you, if you've read it, you might know what I mean. But yeah, it gives me like Hunger Games meets Lunar Chronicles kind of vibes. I don't know. I barely know anything about this. I'm really just dipping my toe in. And we shall see. I've seen one review lately where someone has not liked it. So I'm just like, oh. Like, I saw that literally today. So I'm just like, oh. But hopefully I will like it. And this is a series, so we'll see where we go for that. The next book I plan on reading is Runway Vampire by Lindsay Sands. As we all know, I am rereading this entire series. It is a 30+ book series. And this is technically not the next one I have to read, but the next one I have to read is one that I'm reading in December, so this would be then the next one after that, and I don't think I'm going to read this before, like I'm not going to read 2 in a row, I'm going to read something else, so this will be on my January TBR. And Runaway Vampire is following Dante Notte. They're Italian. Notte, like black night. I can't remember exactly what it stands for, but I think it's like black or night or something like that. Like night as in nighttime, not night like I night thee. Anyway, so this follows Dante, and Dante is running for his life completely naked down the road, and Dante is not a small boy. He is like 6'5", 6'7", built like a brick shit house, long black hair. And does he have long black hair? Dante and Tommaso are twins, so I should, right, the twins have been in this series for a while now, and one of them has long hair, one of them has short hair. That's usually how they tell them apart. I think they both had long hair. Anyway, but like they are really, really imposing. Like they're always in like full head to toe motorbike leathers, or like neck to toe motorbike leathers. They are these massive big guys. And so Dante is running for his life down the street when he is hit by a motorhome. Not a motorhome, what's it called? RV. An RV. And he realises that the driver of this RV is his life mate, and he's also been chased by people who will probably hurt her, so he climbs into the RV and hides there, and, you know, to try and protect her and get away from these people. And yeah, she finds him naked in an RV and she's like, why is there a giant naked man in my RV? And the story goes from there. But basically, Dante has been taken previously. You don't see it previously, but this, like, you get the backstory in this. Dante has been taken by this crazy professor who is not only experimenting on immortals, but is specifically experimenting on Dante and Tommaso because they are identical twins. It's feeling very 1940s Germany. Like, this is the kind of guy, he's very much like experimenting on people in that sort of way. But he justifies it by saying it's okay because they're immortal and they heal. Wow, this is sounding more and more 1940s Germany. Anyway. But yeah, another Life Mate story. This is where it starts to get more like, more in the kind of, they're all kind of ridiculous, but like this, I don't know. I love these. I'm so excited. I love Dante and Tommaso, and obviously the next one is then Tommaso's book, so, yeah, I'm going to enjoy this anyway. Next is one that I thought I would have read by now, but I haven't, and so I'm reading it in January, and that is Chicken Mate by Ellie Hazelwood. This is Ellie Hazelwood's first middle grade, and Becca has read it and has said that it is just as good as her adult books, just with the different levels of, like, you know, interaction between the characters, shall we say. This is more appropriate for young adult, whereas the adult ones are very adult. So yeah, this is about a chess prodigy. I think, I don't know, there's chess, there's a competition, it's Ellie Hazelwood. It's Ellie Hazelwood. I'm going to read it. Next up is a book that I need to get a wriggle on and read because I have ordered the sequel, and not even the sequel, because there's it's like the third-ish book. I have pre-ordered it in hardback, and I haven't even read the first book yet. So I really need to read it and decide if I want to cancel my pre-order or not. But that is Threadneedle by Carrie Thomas. This is, I honestly don't know much about it. It is based in history. I'm sure I've heard about this before, but it is a magical realism-y, fantasy type historical. I am unsure. I just know that Tori has said that she thinks I will really like this, and so I am picking up this chunker of a book because I have pre-ordered the sequel, and not really the sequel, because also at my TBR is Hedge Witch, which is the companion novella to this. So it's Threadneedle, and then Hedge Witch, and then Shadow Stitch is the next one. So I really need to read these before that comes out, because I would really like to actually read these. So I think it comes out in March or April, and so I'm giving myself like January, February to read these before I decide if I'm going to cancel my order or, you know, look forward to it coming. So wish me luck. Next is a book that I'm not entirely sure of, but I'm also very excited for. So with that oxymoron, it is The Bone Cave by Dougie Strang. This book is like a non-fiction fiction book. So it's about mythology and history and fairy tales, etc. in Scotland and in the Highlands, but it's told from the perspective of the author as if he is walking through the Highlands and seeing all this happening, if I understand it correctly. So I'll read you, I'm going to have to read you the synopsis to let you understand. This is a book about stories, old stories of people and place, and of the more than human world. A vivid account of a journey through the Scottish Highlands, The Bone Cave follows a series of folktales and myths to the places in which they're set. Travelling mostly on foot and camping along the way amid some of Scotland's most beautiful and rugged landscapes, Dougie Strang encounters a depth of meaning to the tales he tracks, one that offers a unique perspective on place, culture, land ownership and ecological stewardship, as well as insights into his own entanglement with the place. Dougie sets out on his walk at the beginning of October, which also marks the start of Deer Rut, or Red Deer Rut. The bellowing of stags forms the soundtrack to his journey, and as a reminder that as well as mapping invisible landscapes of story, he is also experiencing the tangible, living landscape of the present. So you see what I mean by it's like a fictional non-fiction. So it sounds like a really a really interesting format. So yeah, we shall see how that goes. I did recently read, I actually got this from Type Longer in Edinburgh. I did recently read a book that will, well, this month, so it'll be in my wrap up, where it was written as if the author was writing an account that had happened in a past, like, so it had already happened to, or not to him, like he was aware of it happening and he was writing about it. So like, it was again like a stranger format than I'm used to reading. It's maybe not an unusual format for some people, but for me it's an unusual format. So yeah, I've been dying to read this, but just everything's been getting in the way, so I'm making time to read it now. And the final book that I am putting on my TBR for January is another non-fiction travelling story type book, which is strange, and that is Clanlands New Zealand, Kiwis, Kilts and an Adventure Down Under by Graham McTavish and Sam Hewen. These are two of the guys that were in Outlander. I've already read Clanlands, I've watched Men in Kilts, and I've read the Clanlands Almanac. This is their New Zealand version because Graham McTavish actually lives in New Zealand, and I believe he fell in love with New Zealand while he was filming for The Hobbit, because he's one of the dwarves in The Hobbit, this guy. I can't remember which one, but I believe it's actually Gimli's son. Is it Gloin? Or is it the other way about? I can't remember. No, Gimli's dad. He's Gimli's dad. That's what it is. Gloin. Gimli's son of Gloin. I believe that's who he plays. I might be wrong. I'm probably wrong. Let's face it. And Sam Hewen, Sam Hewen, oh my god, who plays Jamie Fraser in Outlander. And they already did one where they went around Scotland and they looked at different places and events, and it's like a love letter to Scotland. I loved it so much, while also winding up growing up, like them trying to wind up each other stuck in this RV together. It was fantastic. And they basically do the same thing in New Zealand where Graham lives. I really enjoyed the Clanlands ones, and I am so stoked to read this as well. Like, just for an example, like one of the things they do is go on this swing thing, and I have already seen, so one of the channels we watch is, that me and Kay watch, is like a ghost hunting channel called Overnight, and the guy that runs that channel, Elton Castee, he has a channel called TFIL, and it's called The Fuck It List, or The Fun in Life. It just depends on which version you get, but it's basically 1,000 things he wants to do before he dies. And they did like a version of this in New Zealand, so they went to New Zealand, he's travelled around New Zealand again in an RV, and they did these incredible things, and that swing was one of them. And the best thing about it, so Elton has been friends with Matt Rife for a while, or he's known Matt Rife for like a few years now. And so Matt was on the trip and part of the trip with him, and it was Matt that went on, like, the video that lives rent free in my head is Matt and one of their other friends on this, and he is terrified. Like, he is absolutely, because the thing is, it doesn't swing you, it drops before it swings, so you just see him drop and he just, so yeah, given all the behaviour that he's had recently, he kind of deserves that scare again. But yeah, so I've seen some of the things already that they've done, and I really hope they filmed this as well, because obviously they've got the photos in the middle, but they haven't, I don't think they've actually filmed it. I don't know, we shall find out. I am very disorganised on this trip, but it's like some of the stuff that they're doing, I'll give you a second to appreciate. But yeah, there he is, as he's Gloin. Yeah, it was Gloin, because he said groin as a joke. Anywho, I'm losing the track of my whole sentence there, or my whole thought. But yeah, so this is something I'm really looking forward to reading, because they have such a funny tone with each other and such a fun way of telling it, because they do kind of intersperse their own, so like it'll be a section from Sam and then a section from Graham, and they'll interject into each other's set. It's like they're having a conversation, it's like they're telling you the story and they interject in each other's stories, and they'll like Sam would be like, oh yeah, we did this, and Graham was da-da-da-da-da, and then Graham would be like, actually what happened is da-da-da-da-da, and it's really funny. It's so funny the way the banter they have. It's great. But yeah, looking forward to that. That is my January TBR. I am really looking forward to it. I hope I get some of my reading mojo back, because although I feel like I've read a fair bit this month, I've not been enjoying it all the same way. Like, I've not been enjoying the actual feeling of reading as much as I wish I was, and I'm feeling quite uninspired, and just pray for me that the reading in 2024 picks back up again. I've had a really good reading year, I think, so like it's fine that I'm having a little bit of a dip. I just hope that it doesn't carry on. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Thank you to Pia for being my first 12 in 12 for January. I will be messaging her to let her know once I've finished filming this. And ironically, as I'm filming this and picking Pia out of the pot, there is currently a storm ravishing the UK. Ravishing the UK is like, ravaging is the word I meant for a start. But it's like, it's fine here. I mean, we've got a weather warning, but it's just fine. Few wheelie bins over, but yeah. And the storm is called Pia. That was the point I was making. So, picked Pia on Storm Pia Day. So that's quite funny, actually. I find that quite funny. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. If you want to leave me a emoji to let me know you were here, leave some kind of storm related one, like the wind or like the hurricane or like something like that, because it is a blowy windy one out there, apparently. And I will see you in the next video, which will be, if you're interested, my entire TBR starting 2024. So it'll be every book on my TBR that I have not read, which is currently sitting in the 70s. So it's going to be a long one. But yeah, I'll see you later. Bye.